Hey, today on the Pandemic Jam. It's not Friday. It's Tuesday. We missed Friday. I don't know what the hell happened. So we're playing a little catch up. But whatever. Hey, it's a pandemic, man. What day does it matter? So we're gonna play some stuff out of this little book I found laying around my house back in, I guess, 2000. I started playing fife primarily as a reenactor. Group I belonged to an organization called the National Regiment, and we had a pretty good, solid field music program. I had some young fellas playing from Long Island, and my buddy at the time, who was the principal musician of the National Regiment, was a guy named Dave Runner. He had a handful of young fellas too. He was from Ellicott City, Maryland, I believe. Nice guy. So long since passed away, but a gentleman and a scholar and a talented musician. And he put together some tunes that we could use collectively as a group when we went to big events. Some of them pretty cool, legit. Others, a little iffy. But all good music. So we played these tunes together as groups, and we would, it was a chance to, it was a good practice. I'm in New York and Long Island. Dave and his guys were in Northern Virginia and Maryland. Everybody had the same book, practice from the same book. So bam, when we got together in the middle of nowhere to reenact, we were all playing the same music. So it was probably really good practice. So I'll grab some tunes out of here and maybe reminisce about reenacting back in the day. So stay tuned to this Pandemic Jam on this warm Tuesday. Okay, tune number one. Probably has nothing to do with the Civil War, but it was in the book. I'm not sure what Dave was thinking when he put these tunes in the book. Later on, I put together a second edition. I was a little more discerning about sources for the song, the tunes that were in the book. But it was a tune we played a lot because it sounded cool. I later came to find out that it was in the tune's title, called The Harriet. It was actually talking about a ship from the War of 1812 era, I believe. Good tune, though. So here is The Harriet. Using my Peeler reproduction of Firth and Pond B-flat fifes. Ron Peeler, wood instrument maker in Connecticut, managed to procure a couple of original fifes from the period, and using high-tech laser measurements, reproduced them. I have two Firth and Pond reproductions. One is identical, the hole size and everything, hole size and hole placement. The other, which I will use later, is same size, same shape, but the holes are patterned on a more modern pattern, so the sound is a little different. So here's the same size, same shape, same holes and all that crap. The Harriet. The Harriet. The second tune for today jumped right out of the book at me. The name of the tune in the book, the name of the melody, is The Poachers of Lincolnshire. And I actually was playing this out east, I think in St. James, at a museum. And an English couple came up to me, and they knew the name of the tune. They thought, "Oh, this is great. All your music is very English," they said. I laughed. It's very English in that it's very Irish and Scottish and every other thing from that neck of the woods. But anyway, the Poachers of Lincolnshire, we took, is the melody for a song called the New York Volunteer. So we started using that name instead of Poachers of Lincolnshire because it sounded cooler. So here we are, the Poachers of Lincolnshire, aka the New York Volunteer. I'm not sure where this is going to go. It's one of those tunes that doesn't have an end. I'm going to use the modern hole peeler reproduction. Tune number 3, the U.S. March. Now, I have since seen this in more period sources. I think I saw it in the Cushing book or something earlier, maybe around 1812ish or so. But it was in this book too, so we played it occasionally. Back in '03, when I was programming a CD for the 119th Field Music, we played everything we could get our hands on. Just to fill up the CD. As long as the kids could play it, we played it. So there's no real rhyme or reason to that CD except that it's a bunch of excuse me, a bunch of youngsters and 2 old farts getting together and playing music. So here's the U.S. March. Very stirring, huh? The U.S. March. Tune number 4. Is it 4? Yeah, probably is. This is funny, this tune. We used it never in reenacting, but I think we might have played it on a record. I'm not sure. But the thing is, every day at 3 o'clock, the church tower across the street from my house, here's the deal with the church tower. They fixed the bells, and they have a clock. But they didn't want to tick off any of the neighbors. So the bells don't chime every hour, every day, 24 hours a day. No way. This ain't merry old England. Nobody wants to wake up in the middle of the night listening to bells. So Monday through Friday, the bells go off beginning at 9:30 of all times. Although now at 8:30 because of church services. But at 9:30 it starts. 9 bells and then a higher pitched bell to tell you it's half past. And then it'll ring every 30 minutes. At noon there's an elaborate ringing with a tune I do not recognize. At 3 and at 6 there are also long little bell festivals. And the 3 o'clock bell ringing includes a tune that I played. You know, I was like, oh wow, that's that song. And I told my wife that, and She looked at me oddly, as she's wont to do, because, well, I'm odd. So every time I hear it, I say, I got to record this one for the Pandemic Jam. It's called the Coronation March. And like I said, I hear it every day now at 3 o'clock in the afternoon for the last 140 plus days. Yeah. Coming to an end soon, I hope. So here's my version of the Coronation March. Playing on the Model F Fife, the more modern design. The Coronation March. If you're passing down my street at 3 o'clock, you'll hear the bells playing it. Hey, number 5. I'm taking this from the section of the book that was marked ceremonies. We divided the book up into quick marches, marching tunes we played on parade, ceremonies, camp songs, and camp duties, tunes that were very specifically played to designate specific tasks. The other 3 categories, ceremonies, camp songs, and quick marches, kind of got mush-mashed together. Some of these ceremony tunes you could play on march, and we did. Some of these camp songs you could play on march, and we did. The ceremonies were geared towards the role of the field music at a ceremony, whether it was a dress parade, inspection, things like that. A role that was usually originally filled by bands. Bands and field music, 2 different things. Bands were brass instruments, professional musicians, older gents usually, paid a lot more, but they were professional musicians. Different kind of repertoire, classical repertoire, different things, entertaining and cool for the march. They were expensive, and early in the war, the Army realized that, and regiments could no longer afford to pay their brass bands. They were brigaded, so every 3 or 4 regiments could have a band, as opposed to every regiment. There were different ways around it, But field music, which was part of the regular regimental table of operations, took up some of the slack that the bands, dropped when they got, shuffled out by budget cuts. So field music started playing where bands used to play. So they had to come up with a repertoire that was a little more respectable than Yankee Doodle. There was nothing wrong with Yankee Doodle. And it's interesting to note that some occasions called for things that we now normally would play, like the Star Spangled Banner and such. We really didn't have we didn't have a national anthem until the 20th century. So the Star Spangled Banner would have been used, but so would have other tunes. I like this tune personally. I think it's got a very rousing feel to it. I like to play it at gigs, usually as a finale. The drummers like it too, because it's got a really cool drum beat to it. So, the tune, the song, Red, White, and Blue, or as some might call it, Hail Columbia, the Gem of the Ocean. Just a good tune. So here it is, Red, White, and Blue. Red, White, and Blue. Some tunes from the National Regiment songbook. Back in the day, Dave Runner, principal musician at the time, put this book together. This book, funny, looking through the inside cover has the name of one of the kids that used to play in the band. So he probably left it at a rehearsal, and I had to pick it up years and years ago and never got back to him. So that's it for this week. The bell chimes outside. Be safe. Wear your mask. It's not for you, it's for everyone else. And wash your hands. And we'll see you next time.